What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get, and I'm so glad that we've entered October. September gave us a little bit more time to exit the warm period, and we're finally entering more cool weather. And I'm so glad that I finally get to wear some long sleeves for this portion of the year. And of course, we're finally easing into the NFL season. I decided to show off some football merch, to let you guys know which team I root for. Although I'm also very fond of the Cincinnati Bengals. As you can see, I got the Evan McPherson jersey with me in my apartments. This is some merch that I bought quite a few years ago, and I gotta say, I've always been a fan of his. Kickers' rights are important rights. The football attire seems pretty fitting for today, judging by the artist that we're going to be discussing in this video. She's just dominating the world, taking over the country, and there is no end in sight for her, let me tell you. On top of that, we got some new singles that I'd love to discuss, and of course, the artist on the rise. This one, I think, is going to be very soothing for y'all. I think I've done enough rambling here, so why don't we just jump into the action? So gear up in your pads and make yourself a nice plate of nachos, because the sun is up for the sum up. As we inch closer to Halloween, I decided to take on one of my biggest fears in this world. Swifties. That's right, we're talking about Taylor Swift and her brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl. Obviously, the Pennsylvania-based singer doesn't need any introduction because she's one of the biggest faces on the planet. It's truly astonishing how big Taylor's life has been for the past several years, launching the Eras Tour, reaching billionaire status, and very recently getting engaged to Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. Clearly, she's become a force no one can match in the industry. But what's interesting to analyze is how the quality of her music fares now that she has solidified her legacy. I personally think Taylor achieved her magnum opus with Folklore, a magical album exploring heartbreak and wisdom which is perfectly suited for the autumn season. She later produced more pop-focused records like Midnights and The Tortured Poets Department, and while those projects have enjoyment, they don't stick to me as much as the 2020 release. I guess we'll have to see what her newest album can accomplish this time. Surely the power of Jordan Love can protect me from any blowback. Now hold on, Swifties, we'll be returning to Taylor Swift in just a moment, but for now I want to give you my 4 to blast for this half of October. These are singles that I think could do a lot to shake up the charts or impress listeners, so why not just give them a little bit of attention and recommend them to y'all? I had some fun listening to these, so without further ado, let's talk about my 4 to blast. First up on deck is Work On Me by Dasha. Y'all know I can't get enough of Dasha. The country vocalist has emerged again this year with a brand new EP, and one of the singles from that release is Work On Me. This song opens up with a mean harmonica, which I don't think I've heard since Pitbull's Timber. Laying down a sultry performance, Dasha sings about spotting a hot guy from across the bar and approaching him with a blazing confidence, asking to share a sizzling dance with her. Ooh. The detail she uses to describe this man is electrifying, deducing that he works as a mechanic by describing his greasy hands and dirty jeans. It's that sort of masculinity that she really digs. The song also sets us in the scene of a bar, where Dasha aims to give this guy a slow, intimate dance. The guitars and cymbals add the right amount of fun to the southern sweetness. So I am once again asking y'all to save Dasha from What Hit Wonder territory by streaming Work On Me. The next track is Gone 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 by David Guetta, Teddy Swims, and Tones and I. Believe me, I'm just about as surprised as you are. You would never expect all these artists to produce something wonderful together. But it happened, and it's in the form of Gone Gone Gone. This jam sees Teddy and Tony projecting some powerful vocals, singing about a dysfunctional relationship and revealing the two lovers feel better when they're apart. The song starts off with a drowned out piano and offers some nice percussion to suit our two vocalists, with the trumpets serving as a nice touch. While songs like Lose Control and Dance Monkey are easy to clown on, Gone 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 is evidence both singers can be incredible given the right material to work with. Overall, this is some very impressive stuff from all three artists. Now, if we could give less work to Jordy, that would be very appreciated. The next song is Pretty Promises by Callie Uchis and Mariah the Scientist. It appears that Callie and Mariah have become good buddies over the past year or so. They worked on a collaboration together for Heart Sold separately, and while I wished I could have talked about it that month, I now have a second chance with Pretty Promises. Recorded for Sincerely PS, this track adopts the same dreamlike sound Callie has now utilized in her records for several years, relying on delicate drum tapping and hypnotic guitar plucking. It urges you to lay in your bed and take a relaxing nap. As for the content, Callie and Mariah sing about finding a man they hope to be worth their time, and assure him that they won't cause him any harm whatsoever. While Callie's voice is tranquil, Mariah's can offer a powerful smoothness. Who knew they go together like peanut butter and chocolate? The music charts could use more R&B duets, and Pretty Promises might have the sauce. The last song in the Four to Blast is CAOS by Miguel. It's time to catch up with our Spanish-speaking musicians. Miguel has an upcoming album drop for later in the month, and one of his songs leading up to the release is CAOS, a bilingual jam that contains a dark atmosphere. The singer is shown to be having a hot moment with a woman, and as they partake in their sexual endeavors, he begs her to make him forget about his troubles for a moment because he desperately needs the distraction. What makes this song attractive is how much intensity Miguel adds to the tone, infusing a heavy bass and noir angelic choir to the opening melody. He also provides an acoustic guitar to give the track plenty of soul. He keeps singing about the sun needing to break through the clouds, and you can almost feel that when he sings the pause before returning to the moodiness. With people getting prepared for Bad Bunny's halftime show, perhaps CAOS can help them learn some Spanish. Be sure to give all of those songs a listen because let me tell you, they got something special to offer. And speaking of the NFL, I think it's time to get back to talking about Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl. If I wanted to keep my head attached to my neck, I would give this album a 10 out of 10 and end the recording session there. But I'm here to give an honest opinion on the music I've consumed, and that's what I'm gonna do. A Taylor Swift release should always offer some interesting twists and turns, especially with her eventful Hollywood life. Yet, I can't say that it's working this time around. When you sit down and play a record called The Life of a Showgirl, you expect to be treated to a tornado of lavish content and affluent production. However, Taylor doesn't offer much of that with this listen. A lot of the production is inconsistent and doesn't have a clear idea of what it wants its sound to be. On some tracks we have calming drums and guitars that make us feel like we're cruising along the cliffside, but on other tracks we get trap beats that don't seem to match Taylor's vocal style. It's as if the songs are trying hard to sound different from each other, but they don't create a specific theme to aim for. I was at least wishing for Taylor's expert songwriting to make the project more salvageable, but sadly, there isn't any hope there. For one, Taylor tries exceedingly to be explicit on this record, saying that she has a big dick, and insults make her wet, and makes the neighbors leave her the fuck alone. It has the spirit of a young teenager who's giddy that they said their first swear word in public. Plus, we get songs about her defensive Blake Lively and her apparent feud with Charlie XCX, songs that require you to understand the Swift lore to really jam with. All of this isn't to say that the record is totally devoid of highlights, including Ruin the Friendship and Wood, but it doesn't offer too much fun this go around. Maybe Taylor is losing her relatability due to her enormous wealth, but perhaps The Life of a Showgirl should make her, Shellback, and Max Martin reflect on why this album didn't hit with the listening public. Yeah, I hate to let the Swifties down, but this album didn't impress me that much, and I think it's a dud. Though to be fair, I think a lot of them are kind of in agreement on that, so perhaps they won't come for my neck too badly. So, it looks like it's back to the drawing board for Miss Swizzle. But before I let the Swifties roam free, I think it's time that I give you my artist on the rise for this half of October. This is a fairly new artist that's really looking to break through into the mainstream, and I think you guys really should give them a shot. So, without further ado, my artist on the rise for the first half of October is Ama Louise. Coming from London, Ama Louise is an independent artist who has been releasing singles since 2022. She mainly works in the R&B genre and has been open about breaking into the industry without needing the help of a record label, relying more on social media. Her music has a soothing feel to it and can have a wide range of topics, from possessiveness to relaxing on vacation to feeling a desire to make up with your sweetheart. Luckily, Ama Louise has blessed us this week with a debut EP titled Long Story Short. One track worth highlighting is Who's to Blame, where Ama is struggling to keep a relationship alive due to her boyfriend's obnoxious traits, and expresses how frustrated she is with his never-ending toxicity. Like I said before, listeners are probably starving for more R&B in the mainstream, so why not play some stuff from Ama Louise? I'm telling y'all, she absolutely kills it when it comes to R&B music, so please give Ama Louise some attention. But with all that said, we've pretty much wrapped up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode of The Sum Up. I had a blast with this one. I hope you did as well. Hopefully I won't get too many Swifties badgering me in the comments because I gave The Life of a Showgirl a negative review. But, you know, I expect everyone to be civil. In the meantime, if you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Blue Sky, my Twitch, and my TikTok. Links will be in the description. And that's where we are wrapping up today. My name is Gabriel Jones and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.